What is going on, Aztec Nation? It is the Sons of Montezuma, and this is a special bowling episode. The Aztecs are going bowling. What's going on, everybody? Of course, you guys know Mateo San Diego. I'm an Aztec warrior, and I'm joined to my right here, Fiend. What's going on, SD Sports Fiend? How are you doing, man?
Hey, we're back in the game. Back in the game.
Back in the game, baby. The Aztecs are going bowling, as announced maybe a little over an hour and a half ago or something like that. The New Mexico Bowl. We're going to the Corn in the Salsa Bowl, Fiend. The Aztecs headed up once again to the ABQ, and they're going to face the Mean Green of North Texas of the American Conference. Guys, hey, it's been 2 years since the Aztecs have been bowling, so let's bring some positivity, right? Let's bring some positivity. 2 years removed. The third year was the charm. Sean Lewis's second year as head coach. The Aztecs turned 3-9 to 9-3, and they are going bowling. Let's bring some positivity before we have some fun, Fiend. Okay, when you saw the alert come out on X, I assume, because that's where I was refreshing. The Aztecs, we wanted to maybe get what? Arizona Bowl, maybe the first, what was the Rate Bowl? The Rate Bowl. There's a couple other bowls that were in play and whatnot. But what did you think first off? And then I'll give you my spiel.
Well, first off, I mean, just grateful to be bowling after a couple years absence from that. So I said that if we went bowling this year, it'd be a successful season. Check mark. We're back in the game, so I'm excited about that. As far as when I saw the announcement, great opponent, great opponent in North Texas, so excited about that. Absolutely, though, wanted a bowl game that was easier to travel to, whether that's in Phoenix or Tucson or Vegas or LA. I mean, we weren't getting the LA Bowl, but it's been since 2016 that we've actually had a bowl game that is in one of the major cities within driving distance when you think of Phoenix, Vegas, and LA. So it's been a while. So that was a little disappointing. And then, but I honestly, I don't know how many people are going to be going to the bowl game in Albuquerque. It's 11-hour drive compared to like 5 hours to Vegas or 6 hours to Tucson or whatever. And then, trying to get a flight around it's a day after Christmas or 2 days after Christmas. So heavy travel times. And so the prices are, sky high. I think it's like $500 to travel to Albuquerque round trip as of right now from San Diego. So that's a little disappointing, but great opponent, great opportunity for us to get a bowl win.
Well, the travel might be a little tough. I was more upset because New Mexico, right? It was the site of our last regular season game for San Diego State, which was not a most pleasant experience, having, some questionable calls, just some self-imposed blunders. But, both of these teams are kind of backpedaling into this bowl. There's no doubt about it. The Mean Green were on the doorstep of the college football playoffs. They lose in the American Championship title game against Tulane, and Tulane's in. So that was, that's got to be a kick in the gut for them, a kick in the gut for us. We controlled our destiny, and the Mountain West title game was not to be. Of course, we saw what happened with that one. Boise State just, did what we expected them to do. It was not a college football playoff year for the Mountain West this season. It was last year with Boise. But this year, hey, both teams stumbling into this matchup. But, dude, I think this matchup is actually going to be really, really good. When I heard the news, New Mexico Bowl, that's what angered me the most, New Mexico. If this was in any other location, I think I'd be a lot more pleased with it. But just the fact we have to go back to the ABQ, right? Hey, shout out to Captain Eli for the video. All you New Mexico Lobos fans, you're going to Arizona, you punks. Oh man, what do we think about the corn in the salsa? Corn in the salsa. Here we
go. New Mexico puts corn in their salsa. I hate corn salsa. Gross piece. I think I might have killed this bird. Go Aztecs! Go Aztecs! Go Aztecs!
All right, all right, all right. Had to get in one last dig at the corn and the salsa for all you New Mexico fans because look, New Mexico Bowl. It obviously was in my mind, it was like that last little dig at San Diego State for getting out of the Mountain West. We're gonna put you guys in New Mexico Bowl, right? But I felt like it was either Potato Bowl or New Mexico Bowl. I think at the end of the day, Fiend, like as far as where we're gonna get placed, New Mexico obviously got the rate bowl, right? So I think it was one of those situations, either here or Potato Bowl, and I'm happy with this matchup. I'm happy with it. So
Yeah, and great video by Eli. I actually love those uniforms, those AI uniforms, man. Maybe we can incorporate that into future uniform combinations.
yeah,
But
dude.
look, if I had to choose though between New Mexico Bowl and Potato Bowl, I'm choosing New Mexico Bowl all day. I mean, I fully expected us to be facing who did we face last time we played them? Central Michigan. So I was thinking like probably like a MAC school, So to
We have
get
good luck. We have good luck in this bowl. The last time we played, you
exactly
reminded me of it. Well, I think it was Andrew who reminded me of it because that same day, the New Mexico Bowl, we tore apart Central Michigan, and then we walked. We were watching it up at Staples Center because Aztec basketball beat Utah, but beat the brakes off of them. So
tore them up too. Yeah, no, it
yeah.
was a great day for Aztec football and basketball. I'm watching at the was it Tom's Watch Bar
Hmm.
next to
Hmm.
the Staples Center. Great time, and they had alumni watch party. It was fantastic, and um, so for those of us who are not going to be able to go, we're going to have to figure out, like a watch party for that. I'm still trying to figure out if I can go. I'm not sure if I can, just because of we're going to Phoenix right the week before for the basketball game.
Doesn't
So
matter.
it's
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter, Fiend. As long as the team gets there, that's all that matters. And I'm kind of curious how they're gonna play, how both of the teams are gonna play, right? I mean, these teams played each other from 69 to 75, Fiend. 6 times, and the Aztecs won all 5 of them. That was like the change off from those were the Coryell years. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Coryell, I think Claude Gilbert maybe towards the end. I'm not exactly sure. I believe so. But only 6 times in their history, and the Aztecs won 5 of them. They haven't played each other since that 1975 season. But I don't know how they're going to come into this game, man. I mean, let's talk a little bit about the actual teams, Fiend. The Aztecs, we know this team. They have an amazing top 10 defense nationally. Um, Chris Johnson, since we last talked, won the Mountain West Defensive Player of the year. I don't want to say but technically it's a co. It's a co. So congrats to Chris Johnson, one of the best corners in the league. He's definitely gonna. He got invited, I believe, to Senior Bowl, right? So he's gonna be able to showcase his talent. And of course, Trey White leading the defensive line for the Aztecs on this phenomenal defense. This is gonna be their last chance, as far as a lot of the seniors in the secondary that came back to really show off what they do. And
you
offensively, what were we gonna say? What were you gonna say?
Well, I was going to ask you, do you think that they're going to play though? I mean, there's a lot of players that are like first, second, third round when it comes to the bowl game. Yeah, they want to showcase like in the Senior Bowl, right? Because you got all the scouts and everything there. But how much, I'm sure it means a lot to them to be in a bowl game, but you got to make a business decision too. So, are we going to see Chris Johnson play against North Texas? I
That's a
wouldn't
good
fault
question.
I wouldn't fault him if he doesn't, if he makes a decision to sit out. I mean, the guy has a great future, ahead of him in the NFL, and you want to get prepared for that. So I would love to see him play, but if he doesn't, I'm not going to use that, against him. So, or Trey White or anyone else who decides to sit out because they want to get ready for the NFL, process. So we'll see. And I don't know on North Texas side either. Like that with a lot of these games though, you see more of the young kids playing. In some of these games as the seniors sit out. The nice thing that they have done though this year is they have moved that transfer portal to I think January 2nd, because before you had to jump in the transfer portal early, and a lot of there were some teams that barely had enough players to play the bowl game, right? So that was a great change that they did make by the NCAA, and you're going to get more players playing before they make that decision to go in the portal or not.
Well, especially with the expanded playoff, and if they keep expanding the playoff, you're gonna have to adjust the portal. I mean, you can't just have
Yeah.
everything completely on top of each other. That's a good question, though. As far as Chris Johnson goes, I wouldn't be, upset if he decided to make that business decision. But I think for anybody else on the defense or on the offense, I think you play this game, right? Especially on the defensive side, because if you look across at North Texas, you talked about it, the redshirt freshman. I'm gonna butcher his name, Mestamaker, Drew Mestamaker. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
They like to sling it, and they got a lot of receivers they like to dish it
Yeah.
out to. They spread you out, and they like to sling it. So I think, yes, the Aztecs are known for having a top defense this year, but if you're part of that secondary, and if your name is not Chris Johnson, um,
You want to play in this game.
you want to play in this game. You want to
Yeah.
show what you
You're
can
going to
do
get
against this
targeted a lot.
offense.
Yeah.
You're going to get a lot of opportunities. This game is going to be, they're both stumbling in, they're kind of backpedaling into this game. But on paper, if you really look at the matchup, like this is a very intriguing matchup. This is going to be hard hitting, very explosive defense against a very explosive offense. I think this is a perfect game to build up that tape and really show what you could do against a team that was on the doorstep of the college football playoff, North Texas, right? And so were we. Hey, we were right there in that realm. One note I want to bring up to you, dude. This team, the Aztecs and the Mean Green, have a shared opponent. One shared opponent this season, and I think it's great because Washington State put the boot to the Aztecs earlier in the season, and that was like the catalyst to really buckle down. The Aztecs turn things around the rest of the year. The very next week that we lose in Wazoo, Washington State goes down into Texas, and who's there to put an absolute whooping on them? It was like 59-10 or something like that. North Texas, the Mean Green. So, what's the moral of the story, Fiend? The circle of suck just continues to go. The circle of sick, excuse me. Circle of sick just continues to turn.
Yeah, and I don't know how much you can put into that because we played Washington State on the road. Washington State went on the road to play North Texas. So now you finally, we're getting a neutral site. So it'll be a more fair comparison. I don't like to compare because that to me, like those road losses that we took were kind of aberrations. We were so much better at home, and I think we win those games if we play them at home. I do.
Yeah, but
I
it
think
was
all
what it
those
was. It was what it was. You're not going to play every game at home,
No, I
in
know,
the
but
friendly
that's why
confines.
I don't think you can make that comparison of like, oh, they whooped Washington State. Washington State whooped us, so North Texas is going to whoop us. Like I don't think you can make that connection.
I mean, Albuquerque probably is like a healthy medium spot for both of our fan bases, the Mean Green and the Aztecs. It's probably about the same distance, as close as possible, right? Texas is a huge state. One thing about North Texas, though, and I will say this, I think Ryan Lindley has some ties to North Texas, the Mean Green, if I'm not mistaken. I might have to get some information from the old Aztec legendary quarterback. But they're coming in, man. They're gonna bring a quality, a toughness. What do you think of our chances? Because I've seen a lot of reactions online, and they're saying, "Boy, this is a tough matchup for the Aztecs." I mean, they bring in Mestamaker, right? The defense, I think, for the Mean Green, I think they could be had a little bit, right? I mean, they've only got 2 losses on their season, and while both of them were to ranked opponents at the time. The first one was to number 24, I want to say South Florida at that time.
Yep.
And then the second one was in the championship to Tulane. So, they've shown some really strong points. They've shut some teams down, but they've also let up a lot of points. When I look at that game against Tulane in the championship, I'm kind of stroking my beard. Like, I think the Aztecs can have some ground success against this team with our big offensive linemen on their defense. What do you think about that? Because that's kind of where I'm like chomping at the bit a little bit.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think that we could have some success on the ground with them if we were to control the game. Again, I can't really make a prediction until I know exactly who's playing in this game, right?
Yeah.
It's so early. But if you just make the assumption that everyone, who could play is playing for both teams, obviously they've got an aerial attack that's pretty impressive, right? And they're able to spread you out, but we've had some you know, we've got a great we've got two great corners, right, and some great safeties, and we do a really good job of getting pressure, and so I think we'd have a pretty good chance. I do. I think we'd have a good chance. Now it's just a matter of can we generate enough offense and run the ball on them, and and really control the clock. I think if it's a
Yeah.
lower scoring game, we have a better shot. If it's a shootout, I think they win. Pretty handily on us.
And that's pretty general, right? Like, we're not going to make our predictions right now. It's way too early. You got to see what the depth chart is, who's going to play, who's in and out, like you're saying. But I think there's no surprises at this point. You get to bowl season, you know what each team is bringing, the style of play, what their limitations are, their strengths and weaknesses. We can't get into a shootout. That's obvious, right? You just got to dig into what you are. The Aztecs are a ground and pound game. That's what they are offensively. But I do see some things, man. I think if we'll get into it later, but I think if Denical can run the ball as well, I think you just got to live on the ground and just try to control that clock and pound them. But I'm excited. I am excited. I don't know if we're gonna make it, like you said, Fiend. Maybe we'll have to get a watch party together. I'll be down for that. I'll be down.
Yeah, either way, I'll be down. I really wanted to go back to Phoenix. A week later, it would have been a lot easier and climate controlled inside. No one who wants to go outside. In Albuquerque in December. It is football weather. I get it. But we're also San Diegans, and so we prefer to play that game indoors. But no, I am intrigued by this matchup though.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, guys, we just wanted to give our instant reactions to this game. What do you guys think? Let us know in the chat. San Diego State, Aztecs, North Texas, Mean Green. What the heck is a Mean Green, guys? Let us know in the chat. For all you Mean Green fans, let us know a little bit about what you guys are bringing, because this is a rare matchup. I mean, not since 1975. Those are my father's Aztecs right there. Those are my father's Aztecs. Not mine, though. Not mine.
We need to find out if they put corn in their salsa too.
The Tex-Mex. Oh no, even worse, dude.
They might even put black beans in it.
Tex-Mex is horrible, dude. Absolutely terrible. Let the trash talk begin. Trash talk begin. Yeah. Anyways, Sons of Montezuma, guys, stay tuned. This Wednesday, we will be bringing the Aztecs men's basketball game on our YouTube channel here. You can watch San Diego State versus Lamar University basketball. 7:00, the live stream begins, so join us. And before then, hopefully we'll have another more detailed episode for you guys. Fiend, that all right with you? Sound good?
Yeah, sounds good. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, have a great one. Enjoy your weekend. Go Aztecs.
Go Aztecs. Beat the Mean Green.
New Mexico puts corn in their salsa. I hate corn salsa. Gross piece. I think I might have killed this bird. Go Aztecs. Go Aztecs. Go Aztecs.